Hi everyone. Good morning. I hope you are fine. And as so today is actually a beautiful day here in Nigeria. It's just exactly 8 o'clock a.m. in Nigeria. My name is Johanna Ayuba. I'm a lead trainer with Impactor Broadcasting live from Nigeria. And so before I go ahead, I want to also introduce you to two amazing people that are here with me on this call. I have Clementina. Clementina is our moderator for today. So you are going to be seeing much of Clementina in the comment section. So feel free to use the comment section. It's actually meant for you to leverage on that to ask questions, to interact, to respond to questions as well. So please feel free to use the comment section. Just introduce yourself, tell us where you are joining us from, and what time is it in your place actually. So just like I said, this is just after 8 a.m. in Nigeria. So please feel free to do that. Then I have Chika. Chika is at the back end of this broadcasting. She's trying to ensure that we don't have any technical challenge. She's trying to ensure we have a smooth broadcast. So Chika is our broadcaster for today. So thank you very much, Chika. And we're really happy you are also here with us today. So please feel free to use the comment section. If you are joining us now, please introduce yourself. Tell us where you are joining us from as well. So, as we are going today to look at this amazing topic, and it's one of the most trending kind of topic. When we get into it, you understand the more. So, we're going to look at what it means to stay productive online. And this topic, there's no better time than now for this topic because we have known we have seen how a lot of things have gone back online, a lot of transition has gone back to the online space, and a lot of activities happening already. But one thing we are trying to avoid is trying to make sure that people are actually productive, people are actually maximizing that opportunity to be productive, not just being addicted to social media, not just being addicted to these online platforms, but making accurate use of it to be productive because a lot of things are actually happening. A lot of work is actually gradually moving from on site to remote work. So we're going to see how you are going to maximize those opportunities to make sure that you deliver what is expected for you, especially for those aiming to start remote works. And even a lot of companies have actually fully gone remote right now. So this is an amazing opportunity for you to learn what it means to stay productive, what it means to be productive whenever you are online, and how well to manage your time, your schedule, and to make sure that you are being able to deliver your tasks as when due. So just sit tight, please introduce yourself. If you are joining us now, please introduce yourself and tell us where you are joining us from. Okay, I have Pavin already. Pavin is here already. Thank you very much, Pavin, for joining us. He has been with us for some time now. So Pavin, feel free to um, just explore the comment section I see that you are raising one or two questions, but Clementina is actually responding to that as well. So please feel free, if you are still joining us, please introduce yourself and tell us where you are joining us from. So today we are going to look at what it means to stay productive online. Staying productive has to do with a lot of things and a lot of concepts. So we have these three agendas that we are going to look at today. So number one, we are going to look at how to set up your remote office. When you're talking about productivity, we are talking about you having the ability to work from your location, irrespective of where you are located, whether your office is there or not. Being able to set up a remote office means that your ability to use a particular corner or space in your house, in the garden, in the library, to be able to function as your temporary office while working. So we are going to see what it means to set up that your remote office. Then, secondly, we're going to see how to build a productive work environment, what it means to build a productive work environment, because one of the best thing you're going to be learning is how to be productive, right? So we're going to understand what it means to build a productive work environment. Then, last but not the least, how to manage and maintain your well-being, because your mental health well-being is actually very, very important and critical for you when working. Because there are a lot of factors when you are going to be working remotely. Factors like you working in isolation, not having social interaction with people, and a lot of that. So there are things that you need to also understand, that you need to also checkmate as well, because they say health is wealth. So you need to come out and understand how to maintain that particular well-being when you are actually working remotely, and especially in this era where you are isolated. COVID has shown us that we need to be isolated, stay far from each other. So you need to know how to manage and maintain your well-being as well. So joining us again, I can see Cynthia joining from Kenya. Thank you very much, Cynthia. You're welcome to today's section. So if you have not seen the introduction, we are going to see how to stay productive online. So that is the topic we are taking today: how to be productive. And so we are going straight to the agenda for today. So before we start, I have been making call for this. I want to give you a reminder about this free one-on-one mentoring made available by Google for small businesses or charity organization that feel that they need this kind of opportunity to be able to function properly. You need to be mentored. You want someone to guide you throughout your journey in digital space. So feel free to use this opportunity. Clementina is going to be dropping the link for you right there in the comment section. So please take note of the link. If you want to apply for this opportunity, it's actually free. Just sign up, and they will get in contact with you for you to be able to get someone that will be assigned to you as your personal mentor throughout your journey for your business, or if you're running a charity organization. So please take note of that, as Clementina will be dropping the link. So you can do well to just copy out the link and take note of it. After the training, you can now do well to apply. So now this is a simple question I want to first ask: how has COVID-19 impacted your role? So especially for those that are working, for those that are schooling, for those that are running businesses, for those that are doing one way or the other that has to do with interaction, that has to do with interacting with people and all of that. So how has COVID actually impacted your role in any sector that you are currently functioning as? So please feel free to use the comment section. Cynthia, tell me, how has it actually affected you so far? So how has COVID affected your role? So it's just a simple question. We want to just use it to establish some facts first. So please feel free to use the comment section and re- answer this simple question. So I'll be looking out for those replies from you people. So please tell me, how has COVID-19 actually impacted your role? So, for instance, for me, COVID-19 has actually had so much impact in my role, because I could not be able to go to the office to do most of my job. My job has to do with digital marketing. I could not go to the office to do it when I was working in my formal place before. And it has actually isolated me as well. So, and I have to come up with means to be meeting with my team, to be staying online 247. So I need to get internet source, and I need to make sure I have stable power at home as well, and all of that. So it has actually affected my role in many ways. So pregnancy has greatly affected my studies, as I had to be out of school for a while, for a whole semester. Wow, that is so unfortunate. Thank you very much for that response, Pivin. It actually affected everyone, even us that are doing studies. It actually affected us in different ways. So there was no gathering, there was no school, schools were shut down, marketplace were closed, and a lot of things. So COVID has actually had an impact in our rules, right? So it has actually affected us. So now, going first to the first agenda of today, which is set up your remote office. And when we talk of remote office, like I earlier explained, it has to do with just a place you call your office. It can be in your room, it can be in your sitting room, it can be in your garden, it can be in your library, any place you just segment or isolate, and make sure that you have all the necessary gadgets and facilities needed for you to run and all of that. So that is what we mean. So now, what is a remote working? So remote work is a working style that allows professionals to work outside of a traditional office. You see, so this is you working outside of your office. It is based on the concept that work does not need to be done in a specific place and executed successfully. So now, let me give you a simple instance. At Impacta also, we are one of the leading remote working organization also here in Nigeria. We also work remotely, so most of our staffs are actually um, separated. We don't actually come together more often. So we are basically located in our remote locations and we still work as a team. We still deliver our tasks and we still operate and get work done the way it should when we are in the office. So that is what remote working space is. So it has to do with you just finding somewhere that is convenient for you, but above all, you are making sure that your work schedules, your tasks, and all of that gets delivered. And those kind of things are possible, especially with the advent of or with what technology has been able to provide and how far technology can help you deliver most of those things and get it done at the same time. So that is what remote. So where can people work remotely? So remote working remotely doesn't have to be going to the office or all of that. So you can actually work from home. Like for instance, me, I usually work at home most at times. So you can work from home, just get a comfortable place that is free of distraction, that is actually quiet, especially when you have to do with a lot of calls, business calls, um, meetings, and all of that. So you need to get a quiet place that is flexible, that you have your table, your chair that you feel comfortable about. You have your source of power and you have internet connectivity as well. So it's actually also a nice place to use when you are setting up your remote place. So your home can be your remote office as well. Then secondly, it can be a coffee shop. You can walk into any coffee shop, a restaurant, and all of that. So as far as you are comfortable working there and you don't get distracted and your work doesn't have to do with a lot of talking that will cause distraction in the place or with a lot of so especially let's take for instance for those developers, for software engineers, they feel comfortable working anywhere. They can just go by the football pitch and sit down with their laptops. They can go by the coffee shop and sit down with their laptop. All they need to do is just make sure that they are running their projects, they are running their inputting their line of code and it's actually working. So preferably you can get a co-working space. A lot of companies are actually opening co-working space for hire or for rent. So you can do well to work in where you get to share working space with other people that are also working remotely as well. So co-working space is actually another alternative for you to use to work remotely. Then you can also leverage on libraries. They have workspace as well. And so if you can leverage on that and use it is actually an important part. So if you don't need to make phone calls, and libraries are a great place because libraries you need to be silent, so you don't need to um, disturb people that are actually reading and all of that. So library is also an alternative place to check for your. So what do you need to work remotely? What do you need to work remotely? Because when you are talking of working remotely, you are talking of working outside the office. So and you are going to definitely need some basic things that is going to assist you to get your work done. So let's look at what we actually need. Number one, you need a dedicated workspace. Just like I said, you need a dedicated workplace that you are going to call your office at that particular time. And when I mean by dedicated workplace, just get a table, your chair, and your pen and paper. Just get it in a particular segment of your house, be it your parlor or your inner room. So somewhere that can be dedicated without disturbance for you at that particular time. Then secondly, you need to get your devices. When I mean by devices, you're talking of your laptop, your internet access or router that you need to use, and all of that. So if you need devices that you need, so more like if you are into more of training and all the rest, you need devices like your ring light, something, your light, your microphone, your headset, and all the rest. So you need to get your devices set up also in that dedicated workspace. The last but not the least, which is the most important one, because it helps you to stay connected, which is your internet supply. So you need to get a dedicated internet supply, because working remotely means working over the internet, working in collaboration with a lot of people. So you are going to be contacting people, you're going to be working as a team and all of that. So you need a stable internet connection to work effectively. So that is what you need when you are thinking of working remotely. So now, if you want to create your workspace, so now you need to just find a space inside your home where you feel more productive. And when I mean when you feel more productive, you don't get distracted. You cannot have your workspace and have a television before you. You are playing a movie, you are playing a music, and it's not actually helping you and it's getting you distracted. That is not being productive. So, number one thing you need to do is you need to avoid the bed or couch. You need to avoid that. You need to avoid the bed because it's going to make you feel lazy. It's going to make you feel lazy. So you need to avoid the bed or couch when you are working from home, so that you don't feel like you want to sleep, you don't feel like stretching your body, you don't feel like lying down, and from there you fall asleep. So you need to avoid the bed. To set up a table and a chair to sit uprightly, to be able to walk comfortably. So you need a table and you need a chair to set up. Then make sure the space is comfortable, and also do well to consider your posture. So if you have that set up in your home, you're definitely going to be more productive, and you are going to actually deliver your tasks without you saying you're on top of the bed lying down or delivering your tasks and all of that. So please, that is the best way to create your co-working space or your workspace at home, and do well to actually make sure you get that. So now, what are the physical equipment you might need when you have your workspace or you have that particular setup in your place? You need your phone. Yeah, definitely you might need your phone, especially for work that has to do with work calls and receiving calls and making calls. Secondly, you need your computer, because that's where the main work is going to be done. Then last but not the least, you need a notebook and a pen where you get to jot down during meetings, or you need to make some points, or you need to write down some tasks and ideas that you need to do and all of that. So these are the kind of equipment you are going to be needing in setting up your workspace. So please take note of that, because it's going to actually help you the most. So now, get stable power. Yes, even though we're in Nigeria, we might have a lot of challenges, but you can have alternative stable power. Or if you're in another country and your stable power is very much stable, please ensure that you always have a backup as well. So anytime you want to start working remotely, or you're thinking of working remotely, note that power is very, very important, because you need stable power to be able to work properly. So make sure your generating set is working, so that it's having an alternative power backup in case the general power supply goes up. We try solar power devices or inverters, and also power banks for your mini devices like your phones and all of them. So make sure you get a stable power supply when you are setting up your remote space. So now, find sufficient internet connection, because that is one of the most challenge we get in Africa. So internet service is actually a problem here in Africa, but we are getting there gradually. So choose the right ISP, which is internet service provider. So you need to choose the right internet service providers. We know a lot of countries have various internet service providers. So you need to know which one are most reliable at that particular point, which one are most active and working properly without much downtime at that particular. So consider also a substitute or an alternative ISP, which is the internet service provider. So even though you have gotten one that you trust that are most stable, still get an alternative just in case there is a downtime, just in case there is a problem with the network at that particular time. Then find the right router to use, plug into a Wi-Fi, test and compare internet speed, because you can actually test your internet speed. So when you get those internet service providers, routers, you need to test their speed, and make sure that they can actually work for you and they are stable for you to use. So always find sufficient internet connection to use, because when you say you're working remotely, that means you are definitely going to be using a lot of internet connection for your work, especially in collaboration and working with other team members as well. So make sure you get stable internet connection. Then what are the challenges of working remotely? Yeah, working remotely comes with its own kind of unique challenges. The same way you will get challenged when you're working in the office, you are definitely going to experience a lot of challenges when you are also working remotely. So now let's look at the challenges we might face. Number one, the challenges is general for everybody. It has to do with loneliness and lack of social interaction, because you are mostly isolated. You are the only one at home, or you are the only one sitting in your parlor working, talking basically to yourself. You don't have a colleague to say, "Oh, hi, how are you doing? How has been your weekend? How has been this? How has been that?" You get to chit chat in the office. So one of the challenges, you feel lonely and you don't have this social interaction. Then self-discipline as well. When I mean self-discipline, has to do with you telling yourself, "I need to do this task, whether I'm being monitored or being watched by my boss or not." So you know when you are in the office, you get to pretend you are working. Whenever you see your senior colleague or whenever you see your manager coming, you stop chatting, you stop pressing your phone, and you get back to work. So this likewise for working remotely, you tend to have lack of self-discipline, or self-discipline is one of the challenge you tend to experience. Then no employee benefits. It has to do with some companies, but others still give that kind of benefit working remotely. Then hard to switch off. So when you and lastly, you are missing out, or fear of missing out. That is the FOMO kind of fear, when you tend to feel as if some people are actually having fun, some people are actually having interaction, some people are actually engaging with themselves, having fun, and all of that. So you feel as if you are actually missing out when you are working remotely. So those are the kind of challenges people used to face and working remotely. So you need to also know that there are tendencies that you might come across it, but nothing that you cannot actually work on, nothing that you cannot actually get to bypass, because you get to be more productive if you are much disciplined working from home. So, what are the benefits of working remotely? Yes, it has challenges, but it has great benefit as well. So, these benefits are actually very, very much important. So, number one, benefit of remote working, you get flexibility. When I mean flexibility, you get to work at ease, you get to work at your comfort, you get to take that fresh air, you're at home, you get to eat, you get to relax, and all of that. So flexibility is one of the benefits of working remotely. Then secondly, no commuting. Oh, trying to get into the 7 a.m. traffic, trying to get into the 6 a.m. traffic, trying to catch a bus, trying to get a taxi in the hold up, traffic everywhere. So you get that privilege of not actually commuting, because you are working from home and you're not going to any office. Then you get much time with family. So if you are kind of person that your family is always complaining that you don't have their time, you are always going to the office, you go by 6 a.m., you come back by 9, 10, and all of that. So you get to have more time with your family. So this is the time where all the kids will start disturbing you if you're married and all of that. So less distraction as well. You get much of less distraction, because when you're in the office, you get distraction from colleagues, from your office, and all of that. So, but if you are you're at home working remotely, you have much of less distraction from people and colleagues. Then high morale, because your spirit is high, you're comfortable, you are relaxed, you don't have the anxiety of taking the traffic. You don't reach the office and say, I'm tired, the traffic, I'm tired already, and all of that. So you get high morale, and because you are so much relaxed and all of that. So that is some of the benefits you tend to get when you are working remotely. And it's very, very important that also you consider working remotely as well. So now, benefit of working remote working for businesses. Now you can also have a business and you are working remotely, especially you are running a business and you have one or two, three people working for you for that business. Let's say you are into e-commerce business and you have 2 or 3 staffs. So one of the best thing to do is actually to make them work remotely and manage them. Let's take for instance, you have somebody managing your social media, you have somebody acting as your customer service representative, you have somebody acting as your HR or recruitment officer, then yourself. You can actually effectively manage these people remotely. All you need to make sure that, or you need to get them on board, is how to go about setting up their workspace, how to go about setting up communication tools and channels, how to you go about doing your meetings and getting all your tasks delivered in time and all of that. So, and one of the benefits you get is it helps you to reduce overhead costs. When I mean overhead costs, it's like, let's say, for instance, you don't need to pay for office rent, you don't need to be powering the office generator, you don't need to be supplied internet service in the office, you don't need to be buying water in the office, you don't need to be paying for coffee in the office. So a lot of overhead costs it gets to reduce for you. Then it gives you greater productivity because a lot of people tend to deliver their tasks very fast working from home. Then access to wider pool of talent. Yes, you get to get access to a lot of talent, whether they're in your location, because one of the limiting factor is you might want to recruit somebody, but he's not currently present in your location, and moving from his location might be a challenge and all of that, and you get not to recruit that person. But you are working remotely, you get to recruit somebody from anywhere or from any part of the world, and he gets to do the work for you. Then improve employee retention because you make the work very flexible, you make the work very comfortable for people, you get to retain them, and they tend not to leave because they are comfortable working from you, and the work schedule is actually flexible for them as well. So that is how it helps. Working remotely gets you um, more employee retention. So this is it about working remotely, and I hope you enjoyed the first introduction about that. So please, it's time for question. Feel free, please, to drop your question and your responses also about working remotely and how you can go about. So if you have any question, um, please feel free to please drop it in the comment section. It's time for that as well. Sorry about that. So please feel free to drop your question. Question. Okay, I have some people that join us in the course of the training. Let me also do well to acknowledge them. I have Benito joining from Nairobi, Kenya. Thank you very much, Benito. I have Eric as well. Thank you very much, Eric, for joining us as well. So please feel free to use this opportunity to drop your question. And we just talked about working remotely, and the whole topic for today is staying productive or stay productive online. So if you want to be productive, you need to know how to stay productive, especially when working for yourself or for another company, and also for your business. So please, if you have question, you can do well to drop that as we are going to the second agenda for today, which is build a productive work environment. So now this is the next agenda we're going to be discussing about. So please feel free to drop your question if you have any. And if you're okay and you understand what I actually earlier explained, please you can drop me a yes in the comment section. And if you are cool with that, so please you can drop a yes in the comment section, or you also ask your question if you have any. So going straight to the second agenda for today, which is build a productive work environment. What does it mean to build a productive work environment? And now, while you your work environment is very, very important. You need to learn this. So look at this amazing gentleman having or sitting in his workspace. It feels as if he's actually in the office, but this is his workspace at home. He's so much excited. He's even dressed up as if he's in the office, but trying to make sure that he's comfortable and he's enjoying his work. So now the quality of your workspace is vital to your productivity. Why? Because number one, you need to designate an area. You need to have that particular location in your house that you know is your office, and it should be as conducive as possible where you are much comfortable working. Then find the right chair for you, because we have a lot of chairs that can give you back pains. We have a lot of chairs that might not be comfortable for you. Because you're working from home doesn't mean you don't need to buy a workspace chair. You need to get a comfortable workspace chair. Don't use a stool. Don't sit down on your couch and all of that. Don't lie down on your bed like some people. So don't lie down on your bed. Please just feel comfortable and make sure you get a work chair and all of that. So um, then you need to get a filing system to organize your life. So more like you need to have something to be putting your work load or your work files in them, so that your table won't be scattered, your table won't be disorganized. So you need to get a filing system to organize your file. But if you are organizing your files on your computer, you need to also make them organized and all of that. So that is how to make your workspace look neat and all of that. Then you need to know that 40% decrease in productivity due to workspace distraction and 20% increase in errors. So you see, your workspace is actually very, very important. And while we say you need to have an isolated place, yes, it might feel as if you're working from home, but you can still get distracted. You can still get so much distraction even from home. So, but the best way to do it, even as you're working from home, is to get an isolated place that is much comfortable for you to work, that you are going to stay attentive, you are going to not to be distracted in that kind of particular place, so that you avoid a lot of errors and you avoid a lot of distraction. Because even as you're working remotely, a lot of companies might not want to be having those kind of experiences where, and whenever they call you, they feel your background is very noisy. Whenever they call you, you're not always close to your system, you're not always close to your laptop and all of that. So you need to be organized and make sure that you avoid work distraction. Okay, thank you very much, Cynthia, for that. Cynthia said well explained, no question from my side. Thank you very much for that. Then how can you minimize distractions, right? Because I know it's one thing to talk about distraction, and it's another thing also to know how to minimize distraction. So how do you go about minimizing distraction? Number one, you need to let others know your work hours. Yes, it might feel as if you are home. So some people will feel as if you are not working. Some people will feel as if you are always available for them to come by, play game, chat, and gist. No, you need to let them know that even as you are staying at home, you are very, very much busy from so time to so time, just like the way you are in the office. So you need to let people know that from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., I'm seriously busy and engaged. So please, less of distraction, less of the chit chat, less of the visit and all of that. So you need to let people know that you are actually busy at your work time. Then do one thing at a time. Make sure that you be able to achieve one task at a time. Don't be overboard with tasks. Don't be overboard with multitasking and all of that. Make sure you achieve one thing at a time. Stay organized and make sure you have your tasks mapped out. Then avoid TV and household distraction, especially lying down on the bed, especially lying down on the couch. So avoid TV, avoid watching live shows and all of that to stay focused. So avoid all those things so that you can be able to deliver very well in your workspace. So then put away all pets. Okay, yeah, some people don't like pets. Like seriously, some people don't like pets. So they don't even like it. But for those that like pets, you need to also isolate your pets, keep it in one part of the house so that you don't get distracted when it's making noise or when it's crying and all of that. So then take regular breaks. You need to relax. You need to take fresh air. If you work for like 2, 3 hours, take a break of 30 minutes, stretch yourself, do a bit of exercise, take tea, you can eat, drink water and all of that. So you need to take regular breaks so that you can be able to refreshing and you can be able to get your work done at that particular point. Then how can you improve productivity within teams? You are working as a team, you are working as a group on a particular project remotely, then you need to know how you can also improve productivity as a team. Because one thing is you need to work, you need to see what people are doing, you need to get them work as a team so that they'll be able to look at each other's tasks, they'll be able to look at what each others are doing. So that is where project management comes into play. Project management has to do with getting a particular team to work on a particular project. And one of the most important things, they need to collaborate, they need to come together and get those tasks done. So, and when you bring in one or two people, you need to see whether they're actually working on their particular task. So, project management has to do with having a particular goal to get something delivered, and that goal must be worked on by a team of people from different profession or from different skill set. So getting those teams together to work on that particular project is actually one of the attribute of working remotely and being managed remotely as well. So you need to establish vision and deliverables. You need to tell people what they are going to do and why they need to execute that project, and tell them what they need to deliver. Then establish logistics for the team communication. When I mean logistics, get them internet supply, get them access. They need to have access to power as well because they are working as a team, and also let them know of the time zone of each other, especially if they are going to be working from different locations. Then promote visibility and transparency of all work, especially where you get to track their activities. So we have a lot of softwares that help us deliver this kind of tasks. So you can get a software that will manage your whole project, and where you get to see how all those teams are working, their individual tasks. They get to see whether they are currently working on it or they are actually done with it. So one of the simple softwares we have is we have Trello. We have what we call Trello. Trello has a Trello board where you get all the teams to show you the tasks they have in progress and done. So whenever they are working on a particular task, you can assign it to somebody. You get to see who is working on this task and what is the status of the task at that moment. You get to communicate with him on time and collaborate with him. Get to even chat with him and ask him what is he doing at that particular point, or why is the task still in progress or ongoing and it has not been delivered. Maybe it has a time. And we have Asana. Asana is also another project management software that helps you track a lot of activity. You get to assign tasks to your team. You get to monitor how the task is going. You get to communicate to them. You get to give them deadline. They get to see the project deliverables, the project tasks, the project team, and all of that. So we have much of these softwares that is going to help you, especially when you're working as a team. So it's actually available, and most of them you can get the free version of them to use, except when you want to use the higher version of the software where you get to pay subscription. Then 70% of workplace mistakes are due to poor communication, right? Because you have to be working as a team, and when you are working as an individual, you don't get to communicate mistakes, you don't get to communicate challenges and all of that. You tend to make mistake as well. So that's why a lot of mistakes that have been done or that have been carried out during working remotely are due to poor communication. So communication is one key vital thing you need to always take note when you are working remotely. So you need to always communicate and make sure that you have a communication channel in which you use. So some people might prefer sending emails, some people might prefer using their communication channels like Slack, WhatsApp, or any form of communication that the team or the organization tend to use for communication. So you need to know that communication is very important. So, like for instance, we just talked about what are the communication tools we have. You can use your email. Sending email is also another form of formal communication. Instant messaging platform like Slack, Google Hangouts, and the rest. So collaboration tools for project work like when you have your workplace tools like your Sheets, your Google Slide, and all of that, you get to collaborate using them. So those are means of communicating with your team. When then set rules to communicate effectively. Now you need to make sure that a lot of people understand how they communicate, how they send messages, how they request for information, how they get tasks delivered, and all of that. So you need to set those rules clearly so that people don't make mistake, people don't use it as an excuse for their inefficiency and all of that. So communicate clearly, think about the type of message and context, respond promptly, set and role model the guidelines and all of that. So you can send a message across and it don't get responded and all of that. Those are bad communication. When someone needs someone to do something for him, he send him a request via this communication channel and he doesn't get to respond to it even though he has read it, and those are bad communication means. So you need to set those rules clear for your team to know, or for your organization that you're working with, and all of that. Then you can also have video meetings and calls as well. So we have a lot of softwares that gives us this privilege to do that. We have the Google Meet, we have the Zoom, we have the Skype, the WhatsApp, even Microsoft Teams as well. So all these are means of having video meetings and calls, which helps you to connect teams, especially those that are working remotely, improves level of communication, then boost collaboration as well. So you can also have those kind of meetings with people via the video call and all of that. So you get to work all of on this remotely. So then, for instance, the Google Meet, we use Google Meet in our organization more of the time because it gives us the privilege to connect. It gives us this privilege to have access to video conferencing, and we can also work on documents and files while we're having meetings. You get to share your screen, you get to show people and what you're talking about, you get to present and all of that. So it is actually built by Google and is robust and secure with global infrastructure. So it helps you to do a lot of things. So Google Meet is one of the tools you also need to learn to work with, especially when you're working remotely. Then we have the Zoom. Zoom is actually an application that also can be downloaded on your mobile phone, and you can also use it on your desktop. So it helps you to actually create conference meeting with that, and it gives you the power to have up to 100 people to join online on a free model. Then if you want to have above that, you can do well to subscribe for the premium subscription. So Zoom is also an amazing platform to look at. Then we have the Microsoft Teams being powered by Microsoft itself, almost the same function that it helps you to work as a team. It helps you to collaborate and do video conferencing, share documents, and all the like. So that is it for Microsoft Teams as well. Then we have Skype. We know Skype has been there for so long, so Skype is also there and assists you to do a lot of things, send chat invites, do background, immersive and full screen video, and all of that. So these are all tools that can actually help you stay productive, work collaboratively, and all of that. So do well to learn how to use most of this platform to get work done. Then how to run effective meetings, right? How to run effective meeting, especially if you're a team lead or you are the one heading a meeting. Make sure you set agendas for the meeting. Make sure you consider your tone of voice, encourage using cameras, and be timely. So that is one of the effective way to run meetings, because remember how you do meetings in the office, you do it physically, you get to see everybody's face, right? So that's why we are saying encourage people to use cameras as well. Then your voice also matters. Then you need to have an agenda. You don't call for meeting and just talk at random and you don't even know what to say. So you need to have an agenda and run them through the agenda of the meeting so that you be organized and you get to stay on time and finish your meeting in time as well. So that is how to run an effective meeting. Then video conference etiquette. So you need to know more about these things whenever you are running. So you need to prepare yourself, dress appropriately. By virtue of you working remotely, doesn't mean you will be on the bed, doesn't mean you will be lying down, you will not bath, you will not dress, and all of that. So you need to dress appropriately because you might be required to on your video, right? Then consider your lighting, make sure that your background is also neat and nice. Then consider your audio and all of that. So it's actually very, very important you take note of that. So consider all those things, especially when you are doing video conferencing in your work or meeting. Top tips for collaborating effectively: you need to equip your team with the right tools, telling them what kind of tools you are going to be using and all of that. So you need to equip your team. Then secondly, make project management easier by giving them access to the kind of tools you use to manage and monitor and also assign tasks for them. So you need to make project management easier for them. So because if you're working on a project, you're going to work with a diverse set of teams, you're going to work with a lot of people, and you have project deliverables attached to them. You need them to do a particular task to achieve a milestone. So you need to know how to manage them with this kind of project management tools. Then make document sharing easier and accessible, encourage collaboration within department, and prioritize company culture as well. So working remotely doesn't mean you cannot prioritize your company's culture and values. So make sure that you also work on that. Then final top tips for productivity: Always over communicate. What we mean by communicate, communicate with your team regularly and keep them in the loop. Always make sure that you are communicating with your team. Don't just keep quiet for the whole day without reaching out to your team members, without knowing what they are doing, whether they have challenges and all of that. So always communicate, then be disciplined. Remote working is not a vacation. No, is it a paid leave? So you don't need to go and lie down and feel relaxed and all of that. It is not a vacation or a paid leave, please. So have your tools ready for work as always. So the same way you are very much active when you're in the office, that is how it is expected for you when you are working remotely. Then find your booster and use it. Now, when we say find your booster, use what gets you energized and ready to work when you need it, especially if you need your bottle of water, if you need your cup of coffee and all of that. So get it ready and always learn to use it so that you get yourself energized. So I'm pausing here for question. It's actually an amazing training. I so much love it because I get to learn from it every day I go through it. So okay, so I have something from Eric. So he said I sometimes use the Pomodoro technique to improve my time management. You break your day into 25 minutes, 60 minutes of work, take break of 5 minutes, 20 minutes, depending on the time you worked. Wow, wow, wow. I love such kind of case scenario. Thank you very much, Eric, for that. So I'm going to learn what this Pomodoro technique is because it's actually the first time I'm getting to hear about it where you get to break your time. Okay, to 5 minutes, 60 minutes. Okay, wow, that is so amazing actually for that, Eric. I really appreciate that. So thank you very much. And please, just like you see what I'm saying, you get to also share your experience with us and we get to learn as well. So please feel free to use the comment section, drop your question if you have any, and also your contribution as well. So please, you can do the same thing that Eric just did now by telling us her experience and what is working for her, right? So as we're going to the last agenda for today, which is manage and maintain your well-being. And it's actually very, very important, especially when it has to do with stress, mental health, isolation, and all of that. So you need to learn how to manage. And so, why is it important to manage your well-being? Why is it so much important to manage your well-being? So that is what we're going to do. So now it's important to manage your well-being because it impacts your overall health, because you need to know that your health is actually very, very important. It is when you are healthy that you can actually work, right? So you cannot be sick and work. So you need to prioritize your health, and it is very, very important during your remote work schedule. It leads to greater productivity because when you are healthy, when you are strong, and you are much capable to do work, it gives you better productivity. It helps you to deliver your tasks in time. Then it increases your resilience and all of that. Then it boosts your morale and level of happiness. You can still be at home without interacting with people physically. You can still be happy and have high morale and all of that. So that is why you need to manage and maintain your well-being. So what can you do to manage your well-being? This is what we're going to look at. Number one, avoid overworking, take regular breaks. Just like Eddie just gave us, taking breaks is actually very, very. So set up your reminders to take breaks. You might be working and you might be so much engulfed in the work without taking a break for at least 5, 10 minutes. So you need to set up reminders to work so that if you know you have worked for over 2, 3 hours, set up a reminder to remind you, hey, it's time to take break, go and relax, go and take shower, go and eat, or go and take water and all of that. So you need to set reminders. Be clear with your team when you are leaving. So you cannot actually take break in the middle of meeting. You cannot take break in the middle of a conversation or team working. So you need to know when to take your break, especially when you are working as a team. So you need to also let your team know that you are actually on break from so time to so that you will not get contacted and not be found available. Then turn off notifications when you're on break. Yes, some people might so much love their work. Some people might so much be glued to their work, and they can be easily called back anytime, and they get to just immediately want to actually come back to work the moment they see notification for something. So always turn up, then schedule in an activity like taking a walk, riding a bike, or going to the gym at the end of the day so that you actually stay fit and you get yourself refreshing anytime you are done for work. Then be ready for the culture shift. To help you embrace the shift, consider the following as well. Trust your overall performance. Make sure that you trust yourself and you're confident. Rethink the concept of work, then understand your commitment and also be patient. That is how to actually be ready for those kind of culture. You need to be patient and you need to understand the commitment that is expected of you and also trust your overall performance. Then managing your overall well-being, you need to exercise regularly. It is actually very, very important because remember, before you are going to the physical office, you are doing a bit kind of exercise with the trekking, with the moving up and down, but now you are always stationed in one place. So you need to find time to exercise regularly. View mental health as seriously as physical health because it's going to affect your productivity if not managed well. So you need to also check out your mental health regularly. Then check in with your manager or team regularly. Separate your professional and personal life different. So your professional life, which is your work, career, and all of that, separate it from your personal life separately so that you can be able to stay organized and be focused for yourself and also for your work as well. Then organize in-person social meetups, which is very, very much important. You are working remotely doesn't mean you cannot go and have social interaction with people outside the house or outside your office location or your workspace. So you need to organize where you get to hang out with family outside, where you get to hang out with friends and the rest, because it helps your well-being as well. So this is the last part where I'm pausing for question, and I'm so happy that we have treated this staying productivity online. So it's actually an amazing topic, and I so much love it. So please, it's time for question, and this is the last part where we call for question because we have exhausted our three agendas already. So please, if you have question, do well to drop it. And I'm going to also remind you that an attendance form has been dropped in the comment section. So please feel free to fill that form for your certificate. It's very, very important you fill that form. And please, if you have not subscribed to our YouTube handle as well, please feel free, click on the subscribe button and also the bell icon so that you get notification anytime we are going online. So please feel free to do that as you are filling the attendance form as well. Thank you. So also please, okay, I guess that is that for that. So it has been dropped already in the comment section. So what are your next steps? Like after the end of this, what do you do going forward when you want to learn more? We have this amazing platform where Google has a lot of courses, resources that has to do with productivity, staying safe online and all the like. So it's very, very important you go and check it out. Most of the courses are actually free to learn and also make yourself more useful with your workspace. So the link has been dropped by Clementina. It's in the comment section. Please do well to check it out so that you're going to learn. Then I want to also remind you about this free one-on-one mentoring by Google. If you have a small business or you run a charity organization and you want mentorship by Google one-on-one, Google will assign a mentor for you that is actually an expert in that field to help you throughout your digital journey. So the link will also be dropped, and it has already been dropped by Clementina. So feel free to fill that form as well if you need the opportunity. Then Google Digital Skills for Africa has its official social media handles where you can follow to see more information about upcoming training seminars and Google offerings around Africa. So please, you can feel free to follow those social media handles as well. For Facebook, we have facebook.com/digital skills for Africa. Then we have twitter.com/digital skill AF. Then for Instagram as well, instagram.com/digital skill AF. Then Impacta also has their own social media handles where you get to see what we are doing, information that are very, very much important for you as a business person, our opportunities, also forthcoming trainings and a lot of trainings that we have been doing. So please follow Impacta also. The social media handles are being dropped right now by Clementina, so you can do well to follow us on those social media handles. And that is a wrap, right? So that's with that, we have come to the end of today's session, and I hope you are so much excited about it and you have been able to learn a lot and know how to stay productive online, especially if you're working remotely. So please feel free to reach out to us. If you have any further question or any engagement, please you can reach out to us on our social media handle and we'll get to see you guys. Thank you very much and have a wonderful weekend ahead. Thank you.